quick video on the perception of pricing and why I don't discount and why you should consider never discounting either. So when I say I don't discount, I'm talking about my kind of live services that involves me, because people heavily attach a price to something that you start with. So for instance, if we look at models like Groupon, you will find Groupon surfers, right? So they'll buy something on Groupon and then they will only ever go back when there's a discount, because that's the price that they associate with that service. So it doesn't evoke loyalty at all. In fact, you will find that on the whole, there'll be a lot of people that won't come back. Not in all instances, but in a lot of instances, people will just be hunting for the next deal. And when they're asked to pay more for the same service, they start feeling like, well, I feel a bit cheated because I only want to pay that amount because that's what I paid before. So be careful about the association of discounts, because it's the lower amount that you will be associated with. Now, I have no problem with discounting and one-time offers on self-studies, on resellable, reworkable things like ebooks, maybe audios, stuff that doesn't involve you and your time. I don't necessarily have an issue, but the same sort of applies. It's not knowing that, yes, it might be worth this amount, but if you're discounting it to this amount, that is the value that they will put on that thing. They'll feel like they're getting a great deal, but they will also put an association to that value to it. The other thing to take into consideration around discounting is that if you do it regularly, people will be waiting for you to have that sale. They will stop buying from you until you do it again. And so that's another reason I don't do it, because I really appreciate my time. I really value my time. It's the most precious thing I own, and therefore I'm not going to give it away for anything less than what it's worth. And that result is worth what it's worth. There is no haggle on how much it is worth. It just is. And if people aren't willing to pay that, then they don't see the value in it. And I have a responsibility, and you have a responsibility, to demonstrate as much as possible the value and transformation of what you have to offer. There are a lot of people out there who go, oh, I'm worth, I do own my worth and I am worth a lot, but they struggle to make sales. That's because, generally speaking, they aren't communicating the value and transformation to that audience. And that's really, really important to remember. Have you done your part to communicate exactly what it is you do and how much value you can add to somebody else and the transformation that you'll supply for that person? Because you have a responsibility as a business owner to do that. It doesn't matter how much you think you're worth. There really is a case to be said. You're only worth what other people are willing to spend. So if you know you're worth that, you need to do your damned hardest to make sure that you demonstrate that. And you can watch some of the training videos which will help you with owning that as well. But you do have to think about discounting and yourself. I will run early birds because I want to reward action takers. I want to reward the people who are in there first. And yes, I do want to create a bit of urgency in terms of people jumping on board. But it's planned. It's a planned thing that I put forward. You should never ever discount, in my eyes, ever, but you should also never reduce prices in panic. I haven't got the people I need this month, so I'm just going to reduce my prices. Instead of reducing your prices, again, doing all the things, making all the mistakes that I've just mentioned throughout this video, you're also, what you should be thinking about is thinking about how you can communicate that value and transformation. What can you do better to show them the value of what you're giving? Don't panic and discount. Always do more to show people the worth and the value of what you have to offer. So I hope that's helped a little bit, because the association of pricing and perception is huge. If you charge cheap, people associate you with cheap. The price point that you shout most about, people associate you with. And if you want to sell both high ticket and low ticket, that's still fine. It's totally possible. But you have to be very clear about the support level and the offer at this end and the support level and offer at this end, so people know what they're paying for and that it's worth what it's worth. You have to be very clear on the differentiation between the low ticket and the high ticket stuff, because otherwise people will associate that thing with that particular price. You have to decide where you're going to sit. You don't want to be, as far as I'm concerned, you don't want to be associated with cheap. Unless you want to be associated with the Ryanairs of the world and things like that, which, yeah, maybe you do. But know that that's where you will sit. If you want to be someone high-end, you've got to charge high-end prices. Otherwise, the perception will not be there. If you need some help on how to price your services and how to feel good about the prices that you charge, then just click the training on how to price your services.